Yeah, we gotta drive really fast to shook 'em up. Smokey and the Bandit, released in 1977 and is directed by Hal Needham, who is also behind such films like Hooper, The Cannonball Run, and Stroker Ace. And this film is starring Burt Reynolds, Sally Field, Jerry Reed, and Jackie Gleason. And the reason why we're talking about Smokey and the Bandit today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from a longtime contributor and supporter of this channel who strikes again, Dr. Camp. Thank you very much for this recommendation. Movie that I definitely have heard of before, but have never watched it. I don't think it ever intrigued me to go out of my way and watch it, but thank God you did, because this film is one hell of a fun-ass time. So if anyone else out there also wants to be like Dr. Camp and help support me and contribute to this channel, and you have a movie recommendation that is gonna make me just so happy and blow my mind, just like this film did, you can click on the QR code that is in the bottom left corner of your screen right now and send over your donation of $5 or more, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and give you a little shout out, just like what I did with Dr. Camp here. Bo Darville, otherwise known as the Bandit, is one of the best smugglers and drivers in the world, and he's been given an almost impossible task of driving down to Texas to get 400 cases of Coors Light and bring it back to Atlanta within 48 hours. So he enlists the help of his best friend to drive the rig, and the Bandit gets to drive the black Trans Am to keep the cops focused on him so that the truck can make it across state line. Well, along the way, the Bandit picks up a runaway bride who is running away from her groomsman, who is the son of the local Texas sheriff, and the sheriff launches a one-man chasing crew to bring this bandit to justice. Like I said before, I've never watched this film, and I've never been into any of those car movies or car TV shows. Like, I never watched Dukes of Hazzard. I've just never been into cars before. It never made sense to me, like, why someone is into cars. Like, as long as it just transports you and runs well, that's all that I need, personally. But thankfully, this film is not based solely on cars. That was just a misconception in my brain, so I'm glad I got to watch it for this review, and this film is so much fun. I remember watching part of it on my lunch break at work, coming home, and just telling my wife, like, this movie is so much fun. Like, I love watching this movie, and I love watching these characters. This Bandit character is so lovable and so likable. He is so charismatic. He's very into his body. Like, you can tell that this guy is sexually aware of himself. Which, shame on me, whenever I think of, you know, these cowboy, rancher, Texas people, I don't think of that at all. I think of, you know, conservative, close-minded people. This guy is definitely more liberal with his life, and he also just flies by the seat of his pants. He doesn't really have a mission, he doesn't really have a code, he doesn't really have a set stance of morality. He's just driving around, and he just does whatever makes him happy, and he does whatever gives him a challenge. The big money people come up to him, and he's just lazing about because he's at this rodeo, and you can definitely tell he's gonna win because he's an amazing driver. But they come to him and say, hey, we have this task for you, and it's basically impossible, and that intrigues him. Characters in the movie ask him, why are we doing this? And his response is, why not? He doesn't have a care in the world, and in some ways, that's inspiring. I don't know if it's a really great way to live your life, just kind of going where the wind takes you. I don't know. I would struggle with that concept, but it's refreshing to see someone here do that and succeed at it. And then when Sally Field comes into the picture, it just becomes one hell of a car ride, and I enjoy it so much. I will say that it's weird seeing Sally Field young. I've always known her like in Mrs. Doubtfire, and then later on in the Amazing Spider-Man films and in Lincoln. She's always been that early 40s mom to me, and then she gets older and older and older for me in film. I've never seen her in her younger years, so it's strange for me. But that's one of the great things I love about this channel, is that I get to go back and watch films from the 70s and 60s and see these actors that I know as old people nowadays and see them in their younger years. Like, oh yeah, goddamn, you're good looking, sugar. And she has great chemistry with Burt Reynolds. Again, Burt Reynolds is just a marvel in this movie. I guess there are sequels to this film, which makes me very happy because I want to check them out. I want to see this Bandit character drive around and have this sheriff character just constantly chase him. I really hope he never catches him. I don't know if he does. Again, I've never seen it, but gosh, I really want to check out these sequels. Smokey and the Bandit is just so much fun. I didn't think I was going to have this much fun while watching it, but the car chases, the stunts, the choreography, how they just mess up a whole bunch of these cars, flying off ramps and flying into rivers, it's impressive. And again, just so much fun. I'm going to give Smokey and the Bandit 4 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I like it a lot.
So guys, if you've seen Smokey and the Bandit, what did you think about it? Should I check out the sequels? Like, do they live up to this first one? Or are they kind of like cheap knockoffs of the first one and I should just leave them alone? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I release next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.